Hi there, so this is episode 6 of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power System Failure. And I gotta say, so far, this one is my favorite episode because I feel it has a really good blend of action, suspense, and comedy. And that primarily falls down to the new princess that we are introduced to this episode, Entrapped. Oh boy, I feel that out of all the princesses we got so far, Entrapped probably is my favorite because she is just so weird and kooky and out there, and yet you know that she is a genius. Not so much absent-minded, if that would be the best term to describe her, but more like that she is so wrapped up in her inventions, in science, and trying to do all of these things with observing and logging and everything, that there is just this disconnect you can sense from her when it comes to her kitchen staff, her castle in the kingdom of Drill, and when she meets our three heroes. So what I especially loved here, like I said, it blends the action, suspense, and comedy is where I feel this episode really gets it well because of how it integrates stuff that you think would be serious, but then turning it on its head and making it funny in different ways. Like, for example, the first one virus that Entrapped accidentally releases, infecting Adora and She-Ra. So She-Ra is just basically out for this episode, which is pretty refreshing, and in its place we get for lack of a better term, a drunk or high Adora, just completely out of it, and that really makes it hilarious since Adora is the serious one among the group. I mean, we already know that she did not go to parties, she did not know how to have fun, so seeing her drunk and high like this, it's a really hilarious disconnect that I just really liked. So when it comes to what I really didn't like, I suppose that boils down to the moral of the episode, where you don't need powers to make a difference. That is exemplified in characters like Bo, when he is showing off his inventions to Adora and Glimmer, how he's excited to meet Entrapped, and when Bo later on meets the kitchen staff and gives them motivation that they can do like what the princess can do because they don't have powers. Even without powers, they are still strong and they can rise to the occasion. That is a very good moral, and it is exemplified in certain characters like, say, Batman or Iron Man. Other characters like those who don't have actual superpowers. The problem I feel here, it's rather hackneyed and ineffective the way this episode and the show did it because of how the kitchen staff is portrayed. I don't really get the sense that the kitchen staff exemplify a lot or hide a lot of these hidden strengths, because they overcome the robots with what almost seems like slapstick, with plates and cakes and cake filling. I mean, Bo doing what Bo does, that's expected, but when the kitchen staff is pretty much using food against the robots, sort of like what the second Ninja Turtles movie did when they fought using all these household items and sausages against the enemy Foot Clan, it sort of undermines the message of being able to do stuff without powers. But that's just my opinion and how I see it. I probably might just be cynical on that. Again, it's not a bad moral, I just don't think it was done really well here. So overall, I conclude that this is probably my favorite episode because of, like I said, sorry for repeating myself, but how this episode really blended everything together. And the way it is set up with no Horde, no appearance by Catra or Shadow Weaver or Hordak or whatever, purely focusing on the best friend squad and all the antics that's going on with Entrapped in Drill and all that, I feel it really allows this episode to be tighter and allow focus on developing our heroes and our new character. and really Entrapped intrigues me. In the theme song, she is the last princess shown, and yet when you see characters like Mermista, Perfuma, that Ice Princess we're probably getting later on, how they're showing off all their powers, and they really look bright and colorful and confident. But then Entrapped is the last one shown, and when she has her rather ominous-looking face mask, having a bit more darker, subdued colors, and looking a bit more kooky than the other three, there is this underlying sense that something is not quite right with Entrapped, especially since by the end of this episode, after the crisis has been averted, Entrapped, like any good scientists, picks up where she left off and tries the experiment again. So stuff like that really does make me wonder what will happen with Entrapped as the show progresses. If she really will be an asset to the rebellion and this Princess Alliance, or if something might happen. That she is the last princess to appear before we show the adversaries of the show is really telling. And add Entrapped to another in the pile of stuff I am excited to see as the show continues. So that's it for me on episode 6 of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power System Failure. So I'll be seeing you guys next time for episode 7. See you around!